What's up, weirdos? What's going on? Good morning. How the hell are you today, guys? Woo! We are making our way into the target zone, my friends. We are making it to the target zone. Look at that. I told you guys. Now, I did a morning market overview video this morning over on the Patreon, and I told you guys we've had this target area, this golden pocket here, right, between 112 and 114K for about a week now. And I said we're probably coming down into this area. And here we are, guys. Here we are, 113,900. We are officially touching the golden pocket. She touched the boat. She touched the butt. We're there, guys. We are there. Can we get a double bottom? This is what I'll be watching for. Double bottom right here. Can we get this going on? And then a launch to the upside. Very, very bullish, guys. Get your orders in while you can. That's what I would say. I'm going to make sure I am going aggressive today. Because if we do see this play out as a double bottom, holy smokes, guys, we're going to see a nice move to the upside. Let's get it. Gamma Goddess, there she is. First thing in the morning. That's what I want to see. Happy Tuesday, Rob and fam. Let's get this money. Awesome. Who's wine? Who's wine? What wine? Thank you so much. You saved me financially after my wife passed away a year ago today. Only appropriate I come back and show you some love today, man. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. And I'm glad I could be there for you through that. I'm glad I could help in any way that I could. And again, your wife will always be in my prayers, my friend. Always. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You are appreciated in this community, my friend. Okay, William, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I got my ears plugged here. Sorry, guys. I'm having trouble hearing. William, what's up, buddy? H. Barbarina in the house. What's going on? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. What else do we have? Let's get into it. Wolf Bane, what's going on, man? Time for the show. Let's get it. Beebs, my dude. Over on Crypto Blueprint and Crypto Future. My guy, always supporting. Alex, what's up, man? Happy Tuesday. Andy, my brother, posting over on X, reposting the alpha. Man, you know when you got water in your ear, it gets really irritating. You can't hear out of it. Yeah, that's what I got going on right now. A guy, what's happening, man? Happy Tuesday, Crypto fam. Danny's in the house. Spuds, my dude. Man, what a pick. Yeah. Gray Sakin, what's going on, man? Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the way in. 179 people watching. We have 59 likes, guys. Get the likes up. Let's get to 100. First goal, let's get to 100. E. Perez, I like, so I feel like Stone Cold sitting on the top turnbuckle, checking my watch, waiting for the time for a whoop ass. Ty, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Had to come and join the flock and see what goes down with all Rob told me to get into months ago. There you go. That's the plan, brother. That's the plan. Dave, good morning, my friend. Motivation Daily. What's happening? Says like, subscribe, join the Patreon. Otherwise, there will be no altcoin season. Absolutely. Quentin, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Viewer 8036, I'm going to hear this waiting music play all day. You're going to be rocking out to it at work. Exactly. Cody, what's good, buddy? Good to see you, man. Mario, it's a me, Mario. Good morning, y'all. Senor Rob, what's the story about the Fed ending their crypto oversight program? We're going to look at it, guys. We're going to have a look at it. Miria, yes, absolutely, Miria. Can I get an amen? Marvin, my brother, what's up, man? Love you too, man. What's up, Brother Rob? You're the best. Hit the like button. Absolutely. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you guys for being here for me. Thanks for supporting the channel. It means a lot. I love that you guys love these morning live streams because it really is a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun. Absolutely. Dave, what's going on, man? Time in the market really is invaluable. Been sitting on some dry powder. My girl wanted me to invest. I finally bought ZBEC this AM at 2043, thinking it was the low. My impatience got the best of me. Hey, I mean, but It's kind of splitting hairs. So buying it now, DCAing if it goes just a little bit lower, not that big of a deal, right? Not that big of a deal. DCA. Candy, man, I went on 2 diets because there wasn't enough food in just one. Yeah, yeah. You're going to make me cough, man. You're going to make me cough. That's awesome. What up, Kizza? What's up, buddy? This bull run would be called the bull run of patience. Just when you think you're gonna take off, boom! No, we're not. Here's the ironic and funny thing about it, though, Kizza. It's that people will look back at this bull run when we're in the next one, right? And people are gonna remember this cycle like it was some easy breezy. We just breezed through it. It was no problem. Think about how people talk about the 2021 cycle, right? The 2021, the year, the blow off top. People talk about it like it was nothing. There was no corrections. It was just up, and it was fun, and it was great, and there was no bad to it, right? Meanwhile, let me show you something. Let me show you something about the 2021 cycle, okay? Everyone remembers it with such fantastic nostalgia, right? It was so easy, and it was so fantastic. Let me get rid of some of this slop here. Okay, let me show you just how incorrect that was. That cycle, the 2021, the year of 2021, from November to November, was actually worse than what's happening this time. It was worse, right? And I'm gonna prove it to you. So this is it right here. Okay. So what did we have going on here? Un momento, por favor. Let me check out my tools here. So let me see what my options are. So this area here, let me get rid of that. Okay. So what did we have? We had this here. This is January 2021. Okay. We had a dip here of, oh, I'm using the wrong measurement here. We had a dip here of 28%, right there, 28, okay? Let's go through it, guys. Let's go through it. Let's have some fun. So this was 28. Ooh, that's big sloppy. 28, okay? You like that, don't you? 28% right there. Okay? And we had this correction. From top to the bottom, 25%. Then we had this correction here to the bottom, 25%. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, baby. We had a correction here from the low, 13%. 13. Okay. You guys, you'll understand what I'm doing here in a few minutes, guys. Then we had this correction here, top to the bottom, another 13%. Then we had this one here, top to the bottom, 27.27%. 27, right? And then we had this monstrous drop here to the bottom. That was 48, almost 49%. We're going to round that to 49. Okay. 49%. Damn it. And it goes, I'm not, look, you got a bunch more, but I'm not going to go into all of them because it goes all the way back up again. But this is just a little bit of a point I'm trying to prove here, okay? People look back at the 2021 cycle like it was easy breezy, lemon squeezy. There was no pullbacks. There was no monster corrections. It was a breeze. It was easy. This time around is way harder, according to people. This time's way more difficult, okay? So from January of 2021, just until May January, February, March, April, May. For 5 months, just 5 months of that final year, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 corrections, ranging from 13%. You got 28%, 25, 25, 13, 13, 27, and 49. Okay? Imagine what people were saying at those corrections in that cycle, right? Remember these numbers: 28, 25, 25, 13, 13, 27, 49. Let's fast forward to today, right? Let's go all the way back. Let's go to today. What are the corrections looking like today? Let's have a look. See if we can find a few. Here's one, top to bottom. Okay, decent one. Top to bottom looks pretty big. Guess what? That's 7%. 7. Okay. Let's look at this one. Top to bottom. Oh, we'll go all the way down here. 10.89%. Okay. 10%. Oh, damn it. 10% there. Let's keep it going. All of these corrections that people are overreacting to. We got another one here, top to bottom. 6%. 6%. Let's keep it going. What's this one? Top to bottom. 8.71%. Right? 8%. So now looking back at 2021 cycle, we had corrections. In 5 months, we had a correction, 2 25% corrections, 2 13% corrections, a 49% correction. And this time around, and everyone looks back at it with fond memories about how easy that cycle was. Now we look at this cycle, just since May till now, so May, June, July, August, so 4 months, we've had 4 major corrections ranging 6%, 7%, 8%, and 10%. Does that sound like it's worse than last cycle to you? Of course not. Recency bias will always make people feel like people remember the good times about the last cycle, right? But they don't remember any of the devastating corrections. Imagine if, think about these corrections. Think about all of the misinformation and all of the fear mongering that's been going on X and on YouTube about these corrections. 6%, 8%, 10%, 7%. Bull runs over, double top, bear market. This is it. This is a horrible crash. This cycle's the worst cycle ever. Worst bull run ever. All that stuff's going around. Meanwhile, 2021, 49%, 13, 13, 25, 25. This is a baby. These are baby corrections compared to what we suffered in the 2021 cycle in the final year, just in 5 months, right? So it's the point of it is it's funny how recency bias, this is very, very tame, these corrections compared to the 2021 cycle. Could you imagine what people were saying in the 2021 cycle when we had a 25% correction, right? If you think it's bad to have a 6% correction, you have not suffered a major correction until you were in the 2021 cycle. So at the end of the day, the point of it all is this cycle is easy breezy, lemon squeezy compared to 2021. 2021 is not as nostalgic and fantastic and everything as people look back on it and talk about. There was some major corrections along the way in that final year. So it's just funny how recency bias can affect perspective like that, right? But yeah, sorry about all that, but I wanted to show you guys it's not that bad this time around, right? Joy, what's going on? I made it to a live with the time changing. I haven't been able to catch everyone. Hit the likes. There you go. David, what's up, buddy? DCA is the way. Absolutely, man. Let's keep it going here. Where was I? Crypto JPEG, what's up, man? Still buying Myria, trying to dig myself out of a red hole. There you go, Danny. Good to see you, buddy. Looks like we hit the bottom for Bitcoin. No, my friend. We got to hit the bottom of this box, right? We got to hit the bottom of the box. I'm just kidding. We don't have to, but I would like to see us come down to at least around here, at least around 112,500, so we could double bottom. That would be very bullish. Are we nearing the end of the bleeding? Yes, we are. Penny Packer, numb to the dips these days. Ditto. What's going on? Gamma says, may you continue to be blessed, brother. There you go. Absolutely. Thank you so much. David, get well soon. Where do you see XCN going soon? Man, I don't know, guys. We've got to wait for this to stop first. XCN's actually up 11.5% on the day. So, Paul, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Motives, do you think BTC hits 130K by the end of this month? I think it's entirely possible, yes. When things go parabolic, will exchanges like Jupiter have liquidity issues? Jupiter's a DEX, right? So probably not. Probably not. But if you need help with that stuff, you got to be over on the Patreon. Preston, I hate to say that this bull run is really testing my patience, getting nervous. What I would say, Preston, you need to go watch. If you weren't paying attention to what I just showed about the 2021 cycle, this is nothing compared to what happened in 2021. Cesar said the 21 cycle could have been much bigger, if not. No, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. I know a lot of people say that. There are a lot of people that say that, but I disagree. I think the counter argument to that is that they printed a lot of money at that time, and all that liquidity poured into crypto. So if it wasn't for a C19, we would have never had all that money printing to the degree we did, and that amount of liquidity pouring into the cycle. So, I mean, there's a flip side to that argument, right? I don't think so. I think that a lot of people who say, and I'm not saying Caesar specifically, but there are a lot of people out there that were in the 2021 cycle calling for higher prices, and they were wrong. And their way of coping with the fact that they were not right about the prices going higher are using COVID as an excuse to why the market, they say, well, it would have. Well, there's no way to prove that one way or the other, right? So all we can do, I think that this cycle will go a long way towards debunking that or validating it one way or the other, because if this cycle only goes to about 150 to 200K, then that lines up with the same type of action that happened in 2021, which says to me personally that the 2021 cycle happened pretty much the way it would have, and it wasn't suppressed in any way. However, if this cycle goes up, I don't know, 300, 400, 500K, like some people are calling for, well then, yeah, okay, obviously, most likely the 2021 cycle was suppressed, right? So I think a lot of it, we'll know more about it after this cycle ends, I think, right? But I personally don't think so. I don't think that the last cycle was suppressed because of COVID. If anything, all of the money printing and liquidity injection boosted it higher. What's your thoughts on Bio Protocol? I looked at it before. It looks okay. Blessings. John, good to see you, man. Smash the like. David, wow, this cycle has been a catwalk, I guess. Good stuff, man. Yeah, exactly, Dave. Exactly. But recency bias, right, makes people think that it's this horrible thing that's unbearable. Imagine, for everyone saying right now that this has been unbearable and you can barely make it and all that kind of stuff, imagine these dips, instead of being 6%, 7%, 8%, imagine them being 25%, 49%. Imagine that instead. And then come back and tell me that this cycle's been unbearable, right? Right? You wouldn't have survived the last cycle if this is unbearable. Lily, good morning. Good morning. Love when you speak French. Thank you. Dang, no bottom yet. Let's get it over with. Thoughts on PNG? Big community behind PNG. I don't hold any of it, but I do think it will do very, very well. It does have a lot of community backing and utility. So, Jake the Snake, Roberto, my sell targets have almost hit. Just waiting for the all-time lows. Smart ass. Bought Zebek and Dent today. There you go. Nice. The only easy season was last season, and next season, this will just be another alt season. Yes, exactly. Ghetto born, so it's safe to say there was more gains made in 2021 cycle. It seems this cycle might be way less. No, it's not safe to say that. Um, Now, a lot of people made a lot more gains who were buying those dips for sure because they were buying low, low, low. Something corrects 25%, and they're buying it. But here's the thing. Here's the flip side of that. Not a lot of people did buy the dips because they were terrified at a 25% correction and people telling them on YouTube that the cycle topped, right? So it's not easy. It's not easy, right? Here to catch the greatest and latest with the best. Thank you, Strawberry Dragon. I appreciate you. Petty Pecker, how you feeling about Moonwell, Pith, and Tars? I love all three of them. Super mega bullish. Ty, Rob, you might have to rewind for the new people. In the past bull runs, etc., dipped around 30% multiple times. Yes, exactly. All right, we're all caught up in the chat. JPEG says, Maverick, I see the dip launch that DCA alt season. It's going to rip. Let's get it. Jow, I mean. All right, let's get into the news. Let's see what's going on out there in crypto land, guys, this morning. How the hell are you guys? Anyways, what do we got going on here? 277 people watching, and we have 90 likes. Let's get those likes up a little bit, guys. Let's get them running. Let's get them going. Okay, quick shout out to the channel sponsor, guys. Decent Biometric Wallet. Not your keys, not your coins, guys. Simply use our link down below. Get a 2-for-1 deal on the biometric wallet or the card wallet. Check it out today, guys. You can swap on there, take profits on there. You can even stake your stable coin or your crypto, gaining APY all the live long day. So check it out today. Use our link down below. Get a phenomenal deal. And speaking of Decent, we will use that segue into the first piece of news for the day. Decent Wallet and Doppler Finance partnered to bring institutional-grade XRP yield to users. Yes, that's right. The channel sponsor Decent making moves with XRP. IO Trust, the company behind Decent hardware and mobile cryptocurrency wallets, has formed a strategic partnership with Doppler Finance, an XRPL-based staking and rewards protocol. This collaboration enables Decent users to access institutional-grade staking infrastructure directly from within your Decent wallet. Again, your crypto never leaves your custody, paving the way for a seamless end-to-end digital asset experience from secure storage and investment and yield generation. Built on the foundation of hardware-level security and an intuitive app experience, Decent has been evolving beyond a traditional custody-only wallet into an actionable platform that connects storage with analysis, decision-making, and returns. With features such as seasonal campaigns like Tap That Drop, portfolio visualization, on-chain insights, and trend analysis, Decent empowers users to read market movements and act in real time. The integration with Doppler Finance marks a pivotal step in extending these investment actions into tangible earning opportunities. Soon, XRP holders will be able to participate in Doppler's native staking and rewards protocol without leaving your Decent wallet app, transforming idle assets into active yield, and completing the investment journey from secure storage to action to yield. In the near future, users will be able to view asset performance, execute staking strategies, and claim rewards all within a single secure environment. This represents a new level of convenience and completeness in the user journey. One that traditional hardware wallets have not delivered before. Guys, this is next level stuff from Decent Wallet. Use our link down below. Get in on this before it is too late. Decent is developing into a digital asset hub that goes beyond storage, helping users design their investments and earning journey. This says the CEO of IO Trust. Our collaboration with Doppler is an important step in strengthening that vision. Doppler Finance spokesperson added, partnering with Decent, which has been a strong base for XRP holders. will be a powerful catalyst for growth in the XRP Fi. We will deliver a trusted yield experience backed by institutional grade operations. So they're making it easier for you to gain passive income on your XRP on your Decent wallet. Not to mention the fact you can also stake your USDC Circle over there getting APY. You can even connect to XCN's protocol and stake your Onyx coin without your Onyx coin ever leaving your Decent wallet, guys. Decent is next level. Use our link down below. Get yourselves a phenomenal deal, guys. Get in where you fit in. Just like Jacob Fatu says, let's get it. Tom Lee frames Ethereum retreat as necessary step towards $5,100. A prominent Ethereum evangelist is interpreting the cryptocurrency's recent sharp decline as beneficial pause rather than a bearish reversal. Tom Lee of Fundstrat sees the drop towards $4,150 not as for reason to be alarmed, but as a healthy development that could set the stage for a run towards $5,100. Lee shares analysis from Fundstrat's head of technical strategy, Mark Newton, in an August 19th post on X, where the analyst indicated that Ethereum is undergoing a minor correction that could see its price move down to a range of $4,075 and $4,150 by the middle of this week. Newton described the potential entry zone as presenting a very good risk to reward opportunity, with an expectation that the asset will subsequently advance to approximately $5,100, marking a new all-time high. His projection dovetails with observations from other market watchers who point to the CME futures gap near 4,070 as a magnet level. Ethereum dipped from last week's high of $4,776 and was trading around 4,293 at the time of writing. It's actually, it's right in range of that. Brushing levels between 4,100 and 4,250 identified by analysts such as Mike Vandepop as strong support. Meanwhile, whale activity and falling exchange reserves are also hinting at confidence from larger holders. Recent data from CryptoQuant showed Ethereum balances on exchanges had dropped to a 3-year low of 18.5 million. However, while retail wallets lightened their exposure, institutions appear to be buying into weakness, with analyst CryptoJack noting on X that whales are stacking. Nonetheless, Lee and Newton's perspectives clash, with a notable shift in short-term trader sentiment. Data from prediction market Polymarket shows the belief among bettors that ETH can reach $5,000 by month's end has plummeted to 26%, down significantly from 64% just days prior. In the last 24 hours, Ethereum has fluctuated between 42.04 and 43.82 before settling at 42.93, a price that's only 0.5% higher than it was a day ago. On the weekly time frame, the coin's movement is just flat, with data from CoinGecko showing it also dropped 0.5%, a modest loss compared to Bitcoin's 2.5% dip in that time, as well as a broader market crypto 3.9% decline zooming out. Ethereum remains up 18.1% over 2 weeks and 15.8% in a month over the last month, and nearly 64% year on year. The consolidation comes as the institutional demand is reshaping the market structure. For instance, Bitmine Emerson Technologies, where Lee serves as the chairman, announced last week that it had accumulated $1.15 million worth of Ethereum, 1.15 million Ethereum, worth nearly $5 billion, making it the largest Ethereum treasury globally holder, right behind me. Just kidding. So, Tom Lee not giving up the fight. He is bullish on Ethereum, and I am on board with that. All right, Squawk Box, what do we got going on? Trump is making a major mistake allowing NVIDIA and AMD to sell chips to China. Let's check it out.
guest is going back to school after
Paycheck protection program.
Right. Yeah, paycheck protection. After enrolling in advanced machine learning courses at George Mason University last year to better understand the technology, he's now tasked with helping Congress regulate AI. Joining us now, Virginia Representative Don Beyer. He is the co-chair of the AI caucus. How's it going back there? Do all those young people like look over at you and point and sort of whisper and stuff, or you're going to keggers and stuff?
No, not going to keggers. I think they mostly ignore me. You know, for first days of class, they'll look at the tie and the weird stuff, but after that, I just blend right in. Well, I don't think I blend in, but they ignore me.
Are you really trying to? You're trying to just get a better understanding than most of us have. I mean, you're not going to write any algorithms for sentient machine learning, right?
No, I actually hope to be able to use it. In the meantime, it's studying linear algebra, and right now we're doing machine learning for the machine. It gives me a place in the dialogue and the conversation on Capitol Hill about what we should be doing with artificial intelligence. And that's been the big part, not learning how to code, but rather being part of the conversation on AI policy.
You've got private sector experience. Not everybody in Congress does. What do you think? How do you think we're handling AI right now? Is it completely unshackled? Is that the way it should be so we can win? Or you're a Democrat? You're looking for guardrails? What is your?
Yeah, I'm very much looking for guardrails. The Biden administration made safety a priority. The Trump administration has kept the Safety Institute at NIST, the National Institute for Standards and Technology. But on the other hand, I think one of the major mistakes the president's made this year is allowing AMD and NVIDIA to sell the really good chips to China. That's the competition with China, and yet we're helping them. By the way, it also violates the Article 1 of the Constitution. We're not supposed to have export taxes. Those are unconstitutional. It's also, right, I think, very unwise to be helping non-democratic countries in the Middle East build data centers. It's one thing to have all the data in a democracy, but in a non-democracy, who knows what that data will be used for.
Just overall, and what we saw to China notwithstanding, should it be open? Should it be basically the wild, wild west? Or you think even in this country, with the way we're developing it, we need more oversight? I mean, look at the biotech industry. And look, I'm not blaming that for the pandemic, but there certainly could be another pandemic with as dangerous as some of the techniques and tools are.
Yeah. There's a growing number of very sophisticated computer scientists, way smarter than I am, who are deeply worried about the existential risks. In the short run, Dario Amodei, who is the founder, president of Anthropic, the Claude large language model, says in the next 5 years, we could eliminate up to 50% of the entry-level white-collar jobs. Even if that's double what actually is, that's millions of jobs that are going to happen right away, disappear. But then the existential risk is when we build something that's way smarter than we are, we have no idea how to align artificial superintelligence values with our values, the so-called alignment problem. And a lot of very smart people are deeply worried about what that means for the future of humanity. That doesn't mean we stop, but it does mean we start to think about guardrails and including engaging other countries like China in the discussion about what happens when we lose control of AI.
You point out one of your factoids that in 2023, more information was generated in all the information since the birth of Jesus Christ. So in AD, since the year zero, in 1 year more was generated than in the prior 2,000 years. And that begins, you start to think about the singularity, because it's going to go up exponentially next year, the year after that, the year after that. And we're going to be at a power of 10 number of how much information is being generated every year. And we have no idea what that means and what the consequences are.
It is exciting in the sense that with AI, for the first time, we can see connections that are beyond the powers of mere human beings. Lots more. The ability to solve biological problems, physics problems is exploding, which is great.
So what if your AI doctor says, yeah, I can figure out what you need, but we have billions of people on the planet and I can't afford to give you what you need. I mean, that'd be an easy decision for an AI doctor to make.
Yeah, well, that's parallel to what we have right now. We have, even though overall our healthcare doesn't match up with some of the most developed world, we still can cure remarkable things in America today while billions of people go hungry. We make those decisions now, often sadly, which completely parallel, which is why getting rid of USAID was such a tragedy.
I don't know if I'd want an AI doctor working on me, not using logic. Let me die. Holy smokes. Federal Reserve considers accelerated rate cuts after Powell's term. Speculation mounts that the Federal Reserve may expedite interest rate cuts after Jerome Powell's term, influenced by market dynamics and political pressure, according to Monex USA. Accelerated rate cuts could impact crypto markets with potential liquidity increases for Bitcoin and Ethereum and broader economic implications for U.S. consumers and businesses. Speculation is rising that the Federal Reserve may fast-track interest rate cuts once Jerome Powell's term ends. The Monex USA report on August 19th highlighted these dynamics. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent mentioned the possibility of aggressive cuts in the near future. Adding to current speculation, Scott Bessent stated, "We should see aggressive cuts in the near future while the Federal Reserve faces some scrutiny over its governance. Analysts predict lower borrowing costs, which could stimulate risk asset inflows. This includes cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. The S&P 500 index reached record highs, benefiting significantly from the expectation of such policy changes. A weaker U.S. dollar supports risk assets climates." Market sentiment is influenced by Fed Governor Adriana Kugler, her resignation, and Chief Labor Statistician Erica, her firing. The woman that Trump fired basically over the jobs numbers. Traders are keenly observing how these developments might alter future policy adjustments. Official market commentary from Monex USA remains primary source of these evolving indicators. Did you know that, we don't need to know, did you know? Analysts from CoinCoo Research suggests ongoing monetary easing could bolster liquidity of cryptocurrency markets. So is the Fed going to wait? Well, I wouldn't say, it doesn't say that they're going to wait wholly until Powell's gone, but are they going to aggressively cut rates when they finally kick this guy to the curb in May of 2026? By then, though, too little, too late for the crypto market. I would speculate. Some people think it's going to go on into 2026. Some people think there's never going to be a bear market again. And those people are what we like to call wrong. Okay, what else do we have? Let's segue back over to Squawk Box here. We got more. The consumer is under increased pressure from tariffs, says Advisors Capital, Joanne Feeney.
Another look at the futures. We are moving closer to the flat line. The Dow futures right now only down by about 7 points. I'd like to take a look at Home Depot and see how that has impacted things. It's the Dow component out with earnings, and initially it was down, still down by about 0.4%, but we are looking at the Dow futures improve somewhat. Joining us right now to talk about what she's seeing in the markets is Joanne Feeney. She's a partner and portfolio manager at Advisors Capital Management. And Joanne, I don't know if you were listening to this last conversation we were just having about what to think with the chips, what to think with Intel. Where do you come down on this as an investor?
Yeah, Becky, good morning. Well, it's interesting that Intel, the new CEO with Bhutan, decided to undo a lot of what Pat Gelsinger was trying to do, which was to stand up manufacturing in advance of having foundry customers. he realized that they didn't have the capability yet to serve foundry customers. Intel has struggled for years to try to move in that direction. They simply don't have all the different components, the libraries as they're called, to give to customers to say, here, these are the components you need on a chip, we've got the library for that. They don't have that library, that set of libraries that TSMC has built over decades. So Lip-Bu-Tan said it's not in our best interest right now to build this manufacturing. So the Intel incentive was, don't build more capacity. Now the government's going to try to come in and say, you know what, if you want that, that subsidy we're going to provide, I suspect they're going to say, we need you to build that new capacity. So you have a real dichotomy between the public interest, which is, as you said, Becky, don't want to be totally reliant as a country on Taiwan Semi, and the private incentive. So that suggests it's not really a great thing for shareholders in the end. You can't force Intel to innovate and solve their design problems and their manufacturing problems.
We can try.
So you would not be an investor who would be fond of this, who would invest alongside the U.S. government with it?
I just think it leaves too many uncertainties out there. Does it change the trajectory of their innovation capabilities, right? That's what we all need to know if you want to be an investor in Intel. Will the government have a say? Will they have a seat on the board, right? These are relevant questions to Intel investors. And it's hard to just point to a group of engineers and say, fix this problem, fix it faster than you were going to. The extra money will certainly help if there is extra money beyond what the CHIPS Act was going to provide. And that could be a good thing for Intel's trajectory. Certainly the SoftBank investment helps.
All right, let's talk about the American consumer, because we've got retail earnings this week. We heard from Home Depot this morning. They missed on the bottom line, $4.60.
SoftBank, real quick connection there before we continue, guys. SoftBank stepping in with Intel. What I would say is that who's the biggest bank for Jasmine? SoftBank, that's right. And who has a ton of IoT devices that could be connected to the PDL? That would be Intel. Connect the dots.
Versus the 471 that the street was anticipating. The company CFO did say that sales picked up every month of the quarter. I think same-store sales were 0.3% in May, 0.5% in June, and then 3.3% in July. How does that match up with what you are seeing and hearing and thinking about the consumer right now?
Yeah, I think the consumer is under pressure, going to be under increasing pressure as more and more of these tariffs move from affecting the PPI, the producer price index, over to consumer prices. And we're likely to see more of that in coming months. But Home Depot is kind of a special situation because they're benefiting from the demand for improved housing from a lot of folks that can't afford or don't want to get out of their current low interest rate mortgage and move someplace else. So they're continuing to do those renovations, albeit at a slower pace than they were before. You look beyond that to the broader retail segment, and you have a really different set of questions. How much is the consumer budget being affected? And again, here we really emphasize that you have to separate the consumer into the high and mid-high range to the lower end. Lower end clearly under continuing pressure because of past inflation and coming price increases from tariffs. The high-end consumer is still in pretty good shape. So when you look at retail, you've really got to parse those names. Williams-Sonoma is a strong name. Lower end retailers are going to be more pressured.
Okay. Does that include the likes of a Walmart, which has actually done pretty well?
Yeah, Walmart is a special case too. They have a lot of groceries. So one question, we're asking is how much will that Amazon announcement of doing more grocery deliveries, affect them? A company like Target, we think, is interesting here because they've really underperformed the retail segment. Since that Liberation Day, retail is up about 35%. And Target's up about, a little bit more than half that. So while other names might be a little bit precarious because they've run up so much as they come to report their earnings, we think Target, having built up those inventories early, which hurt them and hurt the stock, actually now is relatively well positioned, especially now that the back to school season starts to pick up. We are seeing some good numbers there.
Well, I hope so, because Target has really, really struggled over the last probably 10 years. They left Canada altogether a few years back. SharpLink purchases 667 million in Ethereum at near record prices. Sports betting platform SharpLink Gaming snapped up Ether last week as the cryptocurrency surged to near all-time highs. SharpLink added 143,593 Ethereum last week as ETH's prices climbed above $4,700, according to the filing with the U.S. SEC Commission on Tuesday. SharpLink's latest Ethereum purchases came at near record prices, paying an average price of $4,648 per Ethereum, totaling $667.4 million. The acquisition brought SharpLink's Ether holdings to 740,760, with approximately $3.2 billion at current market prices. SharpLink reports 1,388 ETH in staking rewards. SharpLink also announced it has generated 1,388 Ethereum in staking rewards, meaning it has been deploying its Ethereum holdings to participate in validators as a validator, in the Ethereum proof of stake network as of August. So they are actually staking their Ethereum and gaining yield. Absolutely fantastic, guys. You should be doing the same, provided you're not locked in. So yeah, big news coming from SharpLink. I know there's people out there that are against them putting, these companies putting Bitcoin. I'm not against these companies putting Bitcoin and Ethereum on their balance sheets. I'm actually for it. What I'm against is the narrative that's going around that because of that, people are, that there's not going to be a bear market. That's where it gets dangerous, right? So that's what I'm against, in all honesty. Let's go back over to the Bitcoin chart. 113,000 still, $113,975. Will we double bottom down here? That'll be interesting. Let's put a line in the sand. Let's draw a line in the sand, guys. We've had enough of this. Right there. Will we touch that level and hit a double bottom? We'll see. Fridge, yeah, because Target went woke and got smoked. Yeah, hey, that's what happens, right? Go woke, go broke. That's how it is. Richie Rich, my guy, fill those bags on these dips. Can't wait to see the results in the months ahead. There you go, man. All right, guys, listen, I got to get over to, I got to get some more content on. I got to make some videos and stuff. So I will be live again, 2 p.m. Central today. 2 p.m. Central today. Make sure you guys are here for that. And get over to the Patreon, guys. The link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. Couple of things, couple notes for the Patreon. One, I am dropping another gem over there today, so make sure you guys are there for that. You're not going to want to miss that video. I am also dropping another swing trade opportunity on the swing trade channel, so make sure you guys are there for that and so much more. Check it out today, guys. Again, link to the Patreon in the pinned comments, in the description. It's in the chat. I'll see you guys later. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Ramona says hit the like button and subscribe. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ramona. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.